Hello, everybody. Getting ready for some modern action here. Playing a homebrew deck today. Uh, so what we got here tonight is what a deck that I'm calling Zombie Rack. Do a quick little deck tech for you guys. Uh, so basically, it's your standard 8 rack deck. You know, you got your 4 racks, your 4 Shrieking Afflictions, or I'm sorry, 3 Shrieking Afflictions. Your basic discard spells, you got some Blackmails, Duresses, Funeral Charms, your 4 Inquisitions, 3 Ravens Crime, Mind Rots, Smallpox, Mind Wrench. But then on top of that, in the main, unlike with most 8 rack decks, you've got two Waste Knots on sideboard. We've got 4 in the main tonight. So what this is going to do is, as we're causing our opponent to discard some cards, if they discard a creature card, we're going to get some zombies. That's going to help us close out the game a little bit quicker. If they discard a land card, we get 2 black mana, helps us cast more discard spells. And if they discard non-land non-creatures, we get to draw a card. As a predominantly blue player, I do enjoy drawing cards, so hoping to be able to draw a bunch of cards tonight and make some people discard. As far as lands go, you got 4 Field of Ruin. Take care of those pesky Celestial Colonnades, other man lands, things like that. Also, hopefully to help hit some stuff in Ponza if we come across that. Then we got 16 Swamps and 1 Urborg to make our Field of Ruins tap for black. As far as sideboard goes, it's pretty straightforward. Got some Pithing Needles for planeswalkers and other things. Now spell bombs for graveyard decks like Black Red Hollow One, Dredge, things like that. Extirpate also for those same types of decks. Ratchet bombs for creature decks, as well as like Affinity and other such decks. Some more creature hate. You got some Flaying Tendrils, good against Infect, humans. If you can get it early enough, elves, Bantu's Last Reckoning, that'll clean up anything that Flaying Tendrils doesn't hit. And then for matchups where you want to bring in creatures, we've got 3 Gurmag Anglers in sideboard. That's for dealing with Planeswalker decks. Like I was testing this deck the other day, and I came across some pretty spicy Planeswalker decks with the new Dominaria cards that wasn't super great when you had to deal with planeswalkers and they had no creatures to make them discard to get zombies. It's pretty rough. So yeah, that's what we're playing tonight. Hoping to make some fools discard some cards and make some zombies and beat them down. So before we get started tonight, a couple reminders. If you want to click follow here on Twitch, that's definitely appreciated. Got a shout out to a new subscriber, Ryan Burr6. Subscribed before I went live tonight, so thank you for that, Ryan Burr6. Also, if you'd like to donate, never required, but always appreciated. Anything that gets donated to the channel goes right back into building new decks. Also, you can find me on Twitter and YouTube, both at 5Color Feehan. So if you pop on over to YouTube, you can check out my stream from last week, as well as this one, which will go up either later tonight or tomorrow morning. Give a subscribe there, give a like on the videos, and yeah, so we will go ahead and get started. I'm thinking with this, we're probably going to do a friendly league. So we'll do a friendly modern league, and yeah, just try to rack some people out. This deck looks like it's going to be fun. I've played 1 league with it so far, and I did not do too well, but I've actually changed the deck quite a bit since I did the league last night. That's obviously my record down there. I went good old 05 Dream. So yeah, we'll start up doing some zombie rack in Modern. Should be pretty interesting. All right, so match 1. Hopefully we're not going against, when I was testing last night, my first match was against Affinity, and that was pretty miserable. So hopefully don't have that issue. This hand's not looking too bad. I mean, I wish these were mind rots, or not mind rots, blackmails or some other discard card, but we'll give this a keep. All right, so Marsh Flats, maybe black-white tokens, black-white death and taxes. All right, probably gonna take our Shrieking Affliction. So basic swamp, maybe death and taxes, or Eldrazi and taxes. I mean, they're tanking on this Inquisition, but I don't know. I'd probably take the Shrieking Affliction if I was them. I mean, maybe they're trying to figure out what we're playing, but I think by this hand it's obvious we're playing an 8-rack deck. But and maybe this person has never played against 8-rack, so they're having to read Shrieking Affliction and Smallpox. I mean, I know the first time I played against 8-rack, I had no idea what was going on. So, but luckily I got to play against it, so I could learn the deck. And then the next time I came across it, I was at a Team Constructed event with some buddies, or it was not Team Construct, Team Trios. I was playing Legacy, and our modern player ended up going against 8-rack and did not have a good day. All right, so they take the Shrieking Affliction. That's what I thought they were going to take. Passing the turn, I believe. At least I hope. Hope they're going to pass the turn. Maybe go on the timeout plan. So as soon as they pass the turnover, we're going to Inquisition them right back and hopefully get a look at what they're doing. Because Marsh Flats into Basic Swamp, that could be a couple different things. Looks like it could be black-white death and taxes. I mean, could even be like a fairies deck. Just playing some off-color fetches. Black-white tokens. All right, opponent's finally passing. Mind Rot's not a bad draw. All right, so we will swamp Inquisition, see what our opponent's up to. Oh, looks like a Mardu. Possibly Mardu Pyromancer. So K-Command, Brutality, Bolt. I think we're actually going to take the Brutality here. Just because it's a duress. We want to be the ones making our opponents discard, not the other way around. That's how this game is supposed to work. I make you discard. You don't make me discard. So I think if they... It also takes their only play on turn 2. So hopefully if they are able to hit land 3 and they K-Command, we'll just discard one of these Smallpox. My opponent's passing. Huh. Duress is pretty nice. So we will actually Duress. See what they picked up. And crack the Marsh Flats. So we know they have Mountain, Bolt, K-Command, and 1 unknown. Maybe gonna get a Shockland, fire off the Bolt here. Yep. So, yep, looking like a red-black. Maybe it's just Rakdos aggro. Yep, fires off the Bolt. Knew about that. So they got Mountain, K-Command, 1 unknown. So, okay, so yeah, it's red-black Pyromancer, or possibly Mardu Pyromancer. So yeah, we'll take the K-Command. So I mean, we've got answers for their Bedlam Reveler if they cast it. We can Smallpox it. Also keeps them tight on mana, which is, I mean, pretty fine. I mean, you get a good discount on Bedlam Revelers. So right now, Bedlam Reveler, so 1 less for each sorcery. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So right now, Bedlam Reveler costs 4. Or yeah, so it costs 4. So, I mean, our discard plan is going pretty well. So they got 2 cards in hand, so we're actually going to get them empty-handed right here. So we are just going to Mind Rot them. I think once we get our opponent empty-handed, then we're, in my opinion, firmly in the driver's seat. That's kind of where we want it. We want to make this an attrition game. And like the second we draw Shrieking Afflictions and Racks, that's when we start going pretty good. It's like if we can get a Shrieking Affliction and a Rack and keep our opponent empty-handed, that's right where we want to be. Because right now they have K Command, Bedlam Reveler. So they might fire off the K Command, make us discard a card, and shock us, which is also fine. So modes, yeah, discard a card and shock. That's fine. We will discard a Smallpox. Probably going to keep holding on to lands here. That way, if we draw like a Raven's Crime, we can retrace it. I'd really like to draw a Shrieking Affliction or a Rack would be the best draws on our next turn. So opponent's got 1 unknown in hand. Alright, Brutality. They get the other Smallpox. That's fine. So both of us are empty-handed. Come on. Come on, one time. Rack. Rack. Mind Wrench. Alright. So we will pass the turn. So yeah, right now we're currently just looking for the Shrieking Afflictions or the Racks. Hopefully we can get one with the next turn or two. Like I said, we've got 8 in our deck, but I mean we've got 4 Shrieking Affliction, 4 Rack. So we'll duress. We'll take the Lingering Souls. That's fine. Means they only get 2 spirits as opposed to 4, I guess. So, yeah, opponent just said nice to the discard of the Lingering Souls. Yeah, feels kind of bad. Alright, so young Pyromancer. All right. So I think if we can draw a Shrieking Affliction, man. Like we need a Shrieking Affliction or a Rack. Smallpox wouldn't be bad either. Alright, so this is definitely one of those matches where we bring in the Flaying Tendrils and the Flaying Tendrils, Ratchet Bombs, and probably Bantu's Last Reckoning as well. Alright, gets in with the Pyromancer. Down to 13. Oh, another Pyromancer. That's nice. Wouldn't mind a Waste Knot. Just gonna keep drawing lands. All right. This is not going well. Yep, there's the Lingering Souls. Gets 2 elementals. We will always yield to Pyromancer triggers. Because currently in the main, there's not any removal. So we're going to get in for 4. Go on to 9. Yep. So now I think even if we hit a Shrieking Affliction, I think we're pretty well done. Like I would have liked a Waste Knot. Like turn 2 Waste Knot would have been pretty good. But yep, we're just gonna flood out. Alright, on to game 2, sideboarding. So I think the Mind Rots come out. Mind Rots out, Flaying Tendrils in, Ratchet Bombs also in. And we will go down 1 Smallpox. Actually, we'll just go down 2 Smallpoxes. Go down 2 Smallpox, the 2 Mind Rot. Go up Flaying Tendrils, Ratchet Bomb. Do we want anything else? I mean, this is a graveyard deck. So we'll bring in the Spell Bombs too. And we will go down trim. Actually, we want waste knot in this game. So maybe trim one wrench mind and one duress. So bring in the flaying tendrils, spell bombs, and ratchet bombs. Yep, run it like that. See how that goes. That we actually have some creature removal. Yeah, creature removal is definitely key in this game. Last night when I was testing, I was thinking about putting fatal pushes in the main board, like a 2 fatal push, and then maybe removing the extra pates from sideboard and putting those 2 more fatal pushes in the sideboard. But I decided against it with the flaying tendrils. Okay, this is actually a really good hand. So I don't think we fire off a discard spell on turn 1. Actually, no, maybe we do. I think we actually hold this Funeral Charm, so I think we're going to fire off a Duress on turn 1. And then turn 2, we'll fire off this Waste Knot, and then have a Raven's Crime or a Funeral Charm as backup. Funeral Charm's also pretty good in this match, because it can hit Pyromancers and get those off the board. Okay, so he's got 2 Wear Tear. So I'm not really worried about the with this current hand. Not super worried about the wear part, more the tear, but that's harder for them to cast. So yeah, we'll eat one of those wear tears. Seems okay. I don't know if opponent's going to be expecting the Waste Knot, but it's possible. So yep, Blood Crypt tapped, passes the turn. We draw Shrieking Affliction. That's nice. So we will fire off Waste Knot, and then we'll get some discard going soon. So hopefully we don't just flood out like we did last game and draw a bunch of lands. That way, hopefully we draw a lot of discard spells. That way we can try to close out the game. Okay, so Pyromancer. That's nice. We can deal with Pyromancer. Because Funeral Charm, you know, I actually probably should have put a couple more Funeral Charms on the sideboard. Opponent passing. Another Shrieking Affliction. So we will play a Shrieking Affliction. And then we will go ahead and Funeral Charm the Young Pyromancer. Get that off the table. Alright, so hopefully we can draw some discard spells, because right now all we've got is Raven's Crime. And on the upside, if we do draw lands, we can always retrace it, cast it once, and then retrace it for a second one. Okay, so they found, so they're going to get rid of either Shrieking Affliction or Waste Knot. Okay, so they get rid of the Waste Knot. That's okay. So we will play the rack, run out our second Shrieking Affliction, and then fire off this Raven's Crime. And like I said, hopefully we can just run good with getting some discard spells, so we can start closing the game out. Ideally, we want to get our opponent down to 1 card in hand, 1 or 0. If it's 1, we start making them lose 6, 7, 8. And if it's 0, we get them down to losing 9 a turn with the 2 Shrieking Afflictions and the rack. So, and I know this deck also tries to get empty-handed pretty quick to cast a Bedlam Reveler where they don't have to discard any cards. I will always yield to the rack. So I'm hoping we can get to that point soon. See, because like right now it's like stopping them from casting anything, which is good. Okay, so yep, we will. Okay, opponent stopped on our draw step. They're gonna fire off a K command. Yep. Yeah, fires off a K command. So they're gonna hit the rack. That's fine. So they got us with that one. I mean, it runs 4 K commands. They're already down 2, so they only got 2 more in the deck, and both their wear tears are gone. So hopefully we should be okay now. But they're still not going to be wanting to cast much because it's going to get them empty-handed for Shrieking Affliction. And even 6 a turn. That's a fast clock. All right. So yep, Bedlam Reveler discards their hand, draws 3. Yep, always yield to Bedlam Reveler. So they discard another Bedlam Reveler. Okay. Alright, so Funeral Charm. Alright, so we really need to get them empty-handed here. And we will pass the turn. Cracks the cracks the fetch land, gets a swamp. So I mean, Bedlam Reveler is a pretty quick clock, but to speed up the clock, it kind of forces them to cast spells. So if they start doing that to get the prowess triggers, then it gets their hand empty for the Shrieking Afflictions. So if they want to do that to get those extra points of damage in, that's fine. But I don't think that's what they're going to do. Could really go for a Mind Rot. Or not a Mind Rot, a Wrench Mind. This is one of those decks where when I played, I'm like, man, can I just have Mind Twist in Modern? Is that a Hazoret? Okay. Alright, so... Oh, we're flooding. Man, we're flooding. Should have just retraced that Raven's Crime. That was a misplay. So, looks like they're going to try to get down to 1 card in hand, maybe attack with the Hazoret, which I guess would be fine. Like, if I can just stop them at 1 card, that's fine. So, what I'm going to do here, just to thin out the deck, is I'm going to hit the Blood Crypt, just so I can thin out my deck and prevent me from drawing lands. Because I would much rather be drawing some discard spells or like something to deal with one of these guys. Now Spell Bomb. I mean, it's a redraw, so we'll play the Spell Bomb. So we'll crack the Spell Bomb. So we will crack Spell Bomb. Yep, we will pay the black to draw a card. Oh, another Field of Ruin. Man. So we will retrace Raven's Crime. So, I mean, that's the upside to Raven's Crime, is that it gives us things to do with our excess lands. I mean, it's not the greatest that we're just drawing lands. Like I said, I need to get them empty-handed, or, like, I like to lock them at 1 card, because that way then they're drawing their 2nd card, so they have to shock us with Hazoret to attack with it. Yep. Like, we've just been running really poorly in this game. Okay, so opponent passes. I'll fire off an Inquisition. We will take the Young Pyromancer and pass turn. Yeah, this seems like a pretty bad matchup for an 8-rack deck. I mean, said they've drawn 3 more cards than us, and they have bodies on the board. Like, did I bring in the Bontus? I don't think I brought in the Bontus. View sideboard. Yeah, to not bring in the Bontus to get rid of the Bedlam Reveler. Okay, so opponent's now taking 6 a turn. So they're going to fling. So they're going to bolt us and then hit in for 8. Yep, that's game. That's the game. Okay. They got us. All right, so on to match 2. Hopefully we can run a little bit better than that one. Yeah, that was rough. I mean, we ran poorly in that. Ran very poorly. Flooded out in game 1. And then they just hit all their sideboard cards in game 2. Like, it would have been different if we could have had that Waste Not stick longer. Because if Waste Not stuck, then we were pretty okay. We were going to start making some zombies, so we had blockers, which would have been really, really sweet to have some blockers, but not to be. All right, on to round 2. All right, so this hand is not great. I don't know if we can keep it. Actually, you know what? We will give this a go. All right, opponent's passing, so let's see what we draw. So yeah, we will go ahead and we'll get the rack down. And then hopefully start picking apart our opponent's hand. So I think next turn we're going to fire off. We will always yield to the rack. Next turn we'll fire off his blackmail. So hopefully we can just pick apart this blue-white deck's hand. All right, so they've got the second land, so negates a possibility. All right. All right, so opponent's passing. Got counter magic up. Right, Shrieking Affliction is kind of nice. So I think we run out. The blackmail is kind of a bait spell. So player land. Run out the blackmail as a bait spell. So if they counter that, then we can stick the Shrieking Affliction. This is one of those matches where one of the alterations that I made to this deck was I did have Underworld Dreams in it. I don't think I have Underworld Dreams in it anymore. I cannot remember. I'm going to pull up my deck list here. So Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt. Yeah, no Underworld Dreams. This seems like one of the games where I'd want the Underworld Dreams. Oh, it's a Breach deck? Okay. So yeah, we'll take Snapcaster then. So it's a breach deck. All right. So yeah, looking like they're trying to breach, which I mean is fine. Not ideal. So opponent's gonna opt. I mean, breach seems like it's gonna be pretty tough to deal with. So we will see how this goes. I mean, yep, auto yield to rack. I have a feeling that when I mind rot them, they're just going to discard the Emrakul to shuffle back in, because, I mean, they want it in hand, but hopefully we can just keep them low on their hand. Would be pretty sweet. But, man. Alright, so here I think we're going to run out the Shrieking Affliction. And then we'll just Inquisition our opponent. See what they got going on in hand. We know they got an Emrakul and a Lightning Bolt. I assume they probably fire off the Bolt here. I mean, no point in letting us discard the Bolt if that's what we're going to take. You might as well just fire it off and hit us for 3. Or they got a counter. Okay, fires off the Vendilion Click. Which, if they target us, they're probably going to take our Mind Rot. Yep. Which I guess is okay. I mean, it gets them closer to taking damage from Shrieking Affliction because they ran it out. And if we draw one, we've got 2 Funeral Charms that can take care of that. Oh, we draw another land. Jeez. Right, so we'll take another Snapcaster Mage. Drew 3 Snapcasters? Jeez, man. Good running. Yep, and we just had poor running the whole time. All last round and this round so far. I mean, we're stuck with 3 lands in hand, which is not the greatest. Alright, opponent getting in for 3. Yep, down to 17. Alright, come on, discard spell or Funeral Charm. Alright, opponent drawing a card. Like a Wrench Mind or a Mind Rot would be fine right now. You know, just something to help get them empty-handed. I mean, even if they end up discarding Emrakul, it's still a card out of their hand. So right now we know they got Snapcaster, Bolt, Emrakul, and 1 unknown. And they're tanking really hard on this Scry. Alright, Scalding Tarn, and passes. If we top deck another land, man, oh my goodness. Alright, just because I'm sick of drawing lands, I'm going to try to thin my deck out a bit. Because that is 4 lands in a row. Yep, pass the turn. Oh, this is not the greatest. Alright, so we know there are 3 cards in hand. Cracks the Scalding Tarn, runs out the Snapcaster. So they've got Bolt Emrakul. So they're doing just to speed up their clock here. Yep, goes to combat, hits in for 5, gonna go down to 12. Oh my gosh, yep, we're just gonna scoop it up. That was 5 lands in a row. Wow. So for this, we will bring in we'll bring in Extirpates. Spell Bombs. Believe it or not, I'm going to cut lands. Like, we drew way too many lands in that game. I'm going to go down to 19 lands. And then I also think cut... we will cut 1 Waste Knot. and one Mind Rot. I also think we go up one Flaying Tendrils and cut the other Mind Rot. So we'll run it like that. Yeah, that was brutal. Just five running lands. That was tough. Like, I don't think even on my best day with like Jund or I mean even like like the deck I have built in paper, free win red. If I draw 5 lands in a row, I'm not winning. I mean that's a ridiculous flood for a 21 land deck. So we'll see how this goes. I know to most people it's pretty weird to cut lands, but it's something that I do pretty regularly. I know it's probably not the best, but so yeah, so one lander. I mean, this is fine. We'll keep. We just need to hit a second land. Like if we hit a second land, we're kind of off to the races here. So we will Inquisition on turn 1 here. All right. So Swamp, Inquisition, see what's up. Alright, so they got Remand, Logic Knot, and Mana Leak. So we'll take the Remand. And we will pass turn. So hopefully we don't get stuck on one land. I mean, if we get a second land, we've got a really, really solid hand here if we hit a second land. Funeral Charm. Okay, we'll go ahead and actually just run out that Funeral Charm. So they discard the Logic Knot. That's fine. So it leaves them with. So they have Flooded Strand. So they have Flooded Strand, Glacial Fortress, Mana Leak, and one unknown. That seems fine. I just need to hit a second swamp. Would be great. All right, Steam Vents tapped. And there's the Glacial Fortress that we knew about. So they have Flooded Strand, Mana Leak, and one unknown. So going to leave up the Mana Leak. There's a land. Alright, so we'll Mind Wrench here. If it gets a card out of the hand, it gets a card out of the hand. That's fine. So if they want to fire off that Mana Leak, it's at least getting a card out of their hand. So we're good there. Yep, there's the Mana Leak. I cannot pay the 3. So they have Flooded Strand and 2 unknowns. So I'm hoping to draw another land, get the Rack down, and a Waste Knot would be ideal. Okay, so we draw Blackmail. So we will try to run up this Waste Knot. I mean, no point in not playing into counters. I mean, you have to. So they have 3 unknowns now. Another counterspell. Cracks the Flooded Strand. Did they pick up another Mana Leak? Glacial Fortress tapped. Remand, okay. Not ideal. Would have liked to have that Waste Knot stick. So right now we just want a third land. Like I said, we did trim some lands. Unfortunately, now our opponent's up to Cryptic Command mana, which is not the best. And there's a third land. So we'll try to run out the Waste Knot. See if they have the Cryptic. If they do, they do. If they don't, we stick a Waste Knot and then get to Blackmail. Opponent's probably reading the Waste Not. Not a card you often see. A M15 staple. They got the Cryptic. That's fine. So now we get to fire off the Blackmail here. So fire off Blackmail. See what our opponent's hand is. Yeah, we will keep them off lands. That's fine. So they got an Emrakul in hand. So now if they top deck a Breach, then they got us. Well, I guess they don't. If they top deck the Breach, they hit us for 15. No, then they do got us because Annihilator. So hoping to just fade the Breach, which we did. Play a Field of Ruin. Run out the Rack. So we know currently they have Emrakul and an Island. We'll run out Smallpox. Like I said, this will try to keep them off lands. So Snapcaster, they got Logic Knot, probably a Logic Knot. Alright, so right now they're sitting on Emrakul and an Island. So for Mana Leak, okay. That makes sense, keep that Logic Knot in there. Sure. So opponent's gonna start taking some damage here. Yep, there's the Mana Leak. So opponent's, I'm gonna pass the turn. Opponent will take 1 from the rack. Yep. We will always yield to the rack. So rack deals them 1. And then what we're hoping is they go attacking. So hopefully we can maybe fire off this Flaying Tendrils to clear away the Snapcaster Mage. Wrench Mind is not bad. So we will actually Wrench Mind. If they discard the Emrakul, that's fine. I'd rather would have waited till we drew an Extirpate, but I don't think we can wait that long. So yep, they discard the Emrakul and the Island and shuffle everything back in. So now they're going to be taking 2 here. But getting a Jeskai Breach deck empty-handed is really good. Okay, so they got the Wear Tear. That's fine. So we're hopefully going to be back to parity here soon. Hopefully I'll be able to fire off the Flaying Tendrils to clear away the Snapcaster. And then hopefully I can find Shrieking Afflictions and racks, which is really what we need right now. Like a top deck rack, Wrench Mind, that is not ideal. But we will Flaying Tendrils, clear away the Snapcaster. So now we're back to parity. I've got a discard spell and a way to deal with Azcanta, which is super good. So I mean they're a minute away from flipping it. Oh gosh, Colin, what foils did you pick up for Abzan now, Colin? Did you pick up more foil Tarmogoyfs, you madman? Right, so opponent's still empty-handed. Definitely just need to draw a Rack or a Shrieking Affliction would be the best draw. Or Swamps. Swamps are cool too. I like drawing Swamps. Yep, Azcanta. Got a foil Goyf. Before I'm going to cat and trade for get 2 foil Goyfs and 2 foil Thoughtseizes. You are a psychopath, sir. That is obscene. Like, I didn't even want to buy my 4 Tarmogoyfs, let alone foil Tarmogoyfs. You absolute maniac. Alright, so opponent looks like they're passing. Come on, not a land. Alright, Raven's Crime isn't bad. Gives us something to do. Also, if we draw another land, it gives us something to do. You hate yourself and your wallet. Yeah, for sure, man. Tarmogoyfs are, what, 70, 72-ish right now? Let me pull up Goldfish. I want to say they're like 72, and the foil ones are roughly infinite monies. So Tarmogoyf, we'll go with Master 17, because those are the ones that I have. So $82 in paper. And your foil Tarmogoyfs. If I can spell Tarmogoyf. Foil Goyfs from Master 17 are 132. You are insane, sir. Why do you do this to yourself, Colin? You absolute maniac. Alright, so opponent looks like they're passing. Alright. Waste Knot's not bad. So we will run out Waste Knot. Because why play good decks when I can lose in style? I mean, Abzan is not a bad deck. It's just not good. I mean, it's a fine deck. It's just got a lot of bad matchups with Bloodbraid being in the form now. Like, Abzan used to exist because it was good against Jund, and now Jund's got Bloodbraid, and it's just really good. So yeah, I mean, losing in style, if that's your sort of thing, go for it, my man. Alright, so what's opponent got here? Lightning Helix. Azcanta. Yup, got the Azcanta. So, Azcanta's going to flip, so they're going to get 1 activation before I Field of Ruin it. Which is fine. So yeah, they'll get 1 activation. This is when I wish I could just hit a Funeral Charm. Funeral Charm them. After they activate Azcanta. Blam, gotcha. Alright, what do we draw? Extirpate's kind of nice. So... we could extirpate this Wear Tear. Extirpating Wear Tear seems kind of bad against the Breach deck. We'll just hold that for a hold that for like an Emrakul. That's fine. So I'm hoping to get some value out of this Waste Knot. No, they're just gonna remand it. So run it back. So they can either counter it or they can activate Azcanta. Okay, so we can just draw a card. Smallpox is that's interesting. All right, we'll pass. Yep, there's their Azcanta. So what are they going to pick up here? All right, opponent tanking, so they take an opt. All right. All right, so that was their top deck. So they've got Opt and one Unknown in hand. And scryed both to the bottom. Fires off the Opt. All right, so 2 Unknowns in hand. All right, so they kept whatever was on top. Okay, that's fine. I mean, if I remember correctly, I brought in ratchet bombs, right? Oh, no, I did not bring in ratchet bombs. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Oh my gosh, and here's where we just start flooding out with bad spells. Alright, so I'm going to extirpate that through the breach for sure. 8 rack seems really bad in this meta. So many Culligan's commands, blue cantrips. Yeah, I mean, it's not great by any stretch of the imagination. But, I mean, this is a fun deck. So I get to draw a card. And we'll play a Field of Ruin. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great when you're trying to play through ley lines. And, you know, I definitely should have brought in the ratchet bombs solely for ley lines. So we will extirpate through the breach. We will take through the breaches. So unfortunately, we're going to have a tough time actually winning now. But we'll see how it goes. So we will play the rack. I mean, like I said, sadly, I should have known to bring in the ratchet bombs. It being a breach deck and all. Yeah, just hit the ley lines. Yeah. This is going to be tough now. So we will pass. So I'm thinking against any deck that has white in it, we just automatically bring in ratchet bombs. So I'm thinking here we're just going to scoop it up because I don't think we can win through this. I mean, I can't make my opponent discard. So yeah, we'll just scoop it up. It's rough, but I should have brought in the ratchet bombs. Right, so on to round 3. Probably breach variants too. Most of them run a playset. Yeah, like Leyline. I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about Leyline. Like, it's a fine Magic card, but it's not nearly as effective anymore with the new redirection rules. So that kind of took its stock down a bit for me. But, I mean, obviously you can see the strength of it against a deck like this. It makes it almost impossible to win with a deck like this. But that's why I just got to bring in the ratchet bombs. in almost every match. So, going to round 3. Yes, I will play first. All right, I mean this is an okay hand. We will keep this. So we will fire off an Inquisition here. See what our opponent's up to. So we will take. Actually, we'll take Relic. And we'll pass turn. So Tron, eh? This is going to be an interesting matchup. I have actually not tested this against Tron yet, but we will go ahead and fire off a Wrench Mind. So they're going to discard an artifact, which is fine. It at least gets something out of their hand. The upside to this match is we do have 4 Field of Ruin, so we can hit Tron lands, and then we can extirpate them after sideboard. They're going to crack for green, so they hit the Stirrings. Or they just hope and hit the Stirrings, which means they're going to hit the Stirrings. Okay, Chromatic Sphere. Plays a tower. Trying to hit that Stirrings. Yep. There it is. Like, they didn't have it before, but they got it now. So probably gonna hit a power plant. So if we hit, I'd like to hit a Field of Ruin here, so I could take care of a Trump. Okay, they get a Relic. That's fine. So I'll fire off the rack, and we'll just play 2 racks. So hoping to, we will always yield. Always yield. So I really just want to hit some discard spells now. That's all I want. I want some Mind Rots, Raven's Crimes. Okay, so another tower. Or I'm sorry, a Relic and another tower. So at least we're not getting Karned. That's a good thing. Hey, there's a Mind Rot. One of our 2 Mind Rots. Knowing my luck, they'll just hold on to the power plant they drew and the Karn that they drew, and they'll play the power plant, and then they'll play the Karn, and then that'll be game. Because that's the way Tron do. It's really annoying. Yep. Drawing a card so they don't take damage from the rack. Expedition map. Okay, so they're going to have 2 mana available this turn. I would really like to draw a Field of Ruin here. Because if I cast this Smallpox, they're just going to sack their extra tower. So yeah, we'll Smallpox. Oh, this is rough. Yeah, that's rough. Alright, we'll pass the turn. Man, we needed a Field of Ruin there. Field of Ruin would have been so nice. Karn. Yep, we'll scoop it up. So for Tron, Bring in the pithing needles. Man, the extirpates. And we will go down Inquisitions. So yeah, we'll trim the Inquisitions. Maybe Ratchet. No, Ratchet Bomb seems bad. So yeah, I think we just bring in the extirpates and the pithing needles. I'll run it like that. Yes, I would like to play first. Man, billion smallpox. We will keep though. Love how I came back to. Yeah, yep. Karn hit the stack, and Feehan scoops him up. Yeah, it was pretty rough. It was not good. Tron, like I said, I cast a Mind Rot. They had 4 cards in hand. They probably kept the expedition map and then the Karn. They're like, yeah, we'll just play the map and then play the crack the map, get the 3rd Tron piece, and then play a Karn. Oh, look at that. The best cantrip in the game of Magic right there. And Ancient Stirrings. There's been some argument whether that card should be banned, in my opinion. I'm not sure. But it is a ridiculous card. Alright, got the Tower of Power. So what do we draw here? That's a blackmail. So I think we're just going to fire off the Mind, or Wrench Mind. Ancient Stirrings, man. Ancient Stirrings is the best cantrip in Modern. And it makes decks like Tron and Lantern Control. I mean, it is legitimately the best cantrip in Modern right now. And it's green. Which is it's a little strange that it's green, but green has so much of the color pie in Modern and in Standard for that matter. So I mean, I've had conversations with people about whether or not they should hit it, because it makes Tron far too consistent. So here I'm gonna fire off the blackmail, and then probably the smallpox after that. Wow. Yeah, we'll take Sanctum of Ugin. And then we'll smallpox. I can see it, but when there is the argument that the deck that run Ancient Stirrings is mainly what keeps mid-range from being the top of the meta. Yeah, I mean it's rough, man. I mean, it's such a good card, and it makes, like I said, it just makes decks like Tron and Lantern far too consistent. I mean, so I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, I don't like the fact that green is legitimately the strongest color in Magic right now. Just it, green has more of the color pie than anything else. So, you've got the cantripping and card draw of blue. Obviously, artifact destruction and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a really powerful color. It does nothing but supplement other decks. As long as it pairs with black. Yeah, I mean, green-black mid-range decks have a lot of the color pie. I mean, you've got good removal, and I mean with things like Ancient Stirrings and cards of the like, you have really good really good cantrips. It's kind of, oh, of course they'd have Tron. Why wouldn't they? Hopefully they don't have anything to do with it, but... Alright, so plays Tron and then just passes. So we'll play a Waste Not. We'll see what they have, see if we can fade a turn. Alright, so... Opponent's just passing, huh? Interesting. So we will play a land, and we will Smallpox. We will sacrifice one of our tap lands. Okay, so they discarded a non-creature, so we get to draw a card. Then we'll cast a Funeral Charm. So this is kind of what I'm trying to set up here with the Waste Knots. So we can draw another card. And hey, it's another land. All right. So we will pass. Always yield to the rack. All right. Relic of Progenitus. Cycle it. And it looks like they're just going to pass. All right, so we'll play an Urborg. This makes me so happy that they have a good matchup against 8-Rack. Yeah, like Abzan v 8-Rack it's decent because it's like, I don't know if you saw my last match at all, but I was playing against, or not my last match, my first match, I was playing against Mardu Pyromancer. And I Inquisitioned him, and the only three cost card in his hand was Lingering Souls. And, oh my god, of course, why wouldn't they just keep drawing Tron pieces? It's like their deck is 90% Tron pieces. Is this a Karn? Okay, it's Expedition map. Okay, so what I'd really like now is like a Mind Rot or a Wrench Mind, but I'm probably going to draw land. Man, that's, out of the lands I could draw, that is the best land I could draw. So yeah, we will hit, what's all in exile right now? So we will hit the Tower of Power and get a swamp. I wanted to try a Pyromancer variant, like super gas. Yeah, like Mardu Pyromancer is good. It's really good at playing long games. And since I know your playstyle is like green-black mid-range, fair decks, that's kind of like an unfair fair deck that, like I said, it can grind out the game. Like, I mean, it's got surprisingly good long game. So, you literally, is this a Karn? I swear to God, if it's a Karn, I'm gonna cry. It's a Worm Coil. Okay. This one might just be over. So you'll name Karn Liberated. Oh man. Yeah, that's how Tron is. Just literally, oh, you top decked a card and you win the game. Like, I legitimately hope they ban only this card right here. Just this one card. Like, Tron is probably, like, I don't like Infect, but I despise Tron. Yep, that's just the game. So we'll just scoop it up. Like I said, last week playing free win red at Top Cut, I legitimately I lost. The only game that I lost was, or the only match I lost was to Tron, and it's because they were able to play through Blood Moons and Snaring Bridges, and so it was Blood Moon and Snaring Bridge, and Chalice of the Voids. They're literally able to play through every hate card. They're just like, yeah, I'll just get to 7 mana and cast my 7 mana Planeswalker and win the game, and then I'll get to 8 mana and cast my 8 mana Planeswalker and win the game. Like, it's legitimately the most ridiculous deck, in my opinion. All right, so on to round 4. I mean, this is going to be a quick stream here. I mean, haven't been live for that long, so yes, we will play first. I mean, this hand's fine, depending on what we're playing against. So, we get to Inquisition on turn 1. I'd like to draw a second black. Like, this deck really wants to have 2 black sources. So yeah, we'll fire off the Inquisition. So it says Death Shadow. So yeah, we'll take the Thoughtseize. And pass turn. Yeah, they're generally only a couple decks. Tron variants and Boggles. I'm fine with every other deck and respect them except for those 2. Yeah, like, I mean, Boggles is super linear. I mean, it's basically play dude, make dude big, swing dude, win game. But yeah, Tron is legitimately, like, unless you can kill them fast, I just grind the game till I can cast a big mana spell. Like, oh, sweet Jesus. Really? Just all of them. All right. Just all of the, oh, man. All of the Field of Ruins. Which, I mean, I guess is fine. If this is Death Shadow, they're super landlight. Or it could just be Grixis control. We'll make him discard a Watery Grave, that's fine. Oh, pass turn. This seems like one of the matchups where I really want a Waste Knot. Like, for having 4 Waste Knots in my deck, I don't draw them much. It's kind of annoying. Ah, man, see, that's why we want the second black source. So, right here, I'm just going to pass turn. And Field of Ruin, the Watery Grave. That way I can get a second black source. Because I need to have a second black source for the Wrench Mind. Yeah, looks like opponent's passing. So yeah, we'll hit the Watery Grave. That way they're either off black or they either gotta get a black source to keep black mana, or they're off triple blue for cryptic commands, because this is looking like a Grixis control. And then right here we can also fire off a Funeral Charm. So even if they counter it, like if they have a mana leak or a negate, that's fine. This card is a Fatal Push. Then we will Raven's Crime. Looking for more stuff for Pyromancer. Yeah, I don't know, like if you're looking for stuff like that, uh, I'd say talk to Roman. I know, like, I don't like dealing with him personally, but I know he is a, like, he's got the Hollow One deck, which has a lot of the stuff that you need for the Pyromancer deck. I thought C's going to take the Wrench Mine. That's fine. Oh my goodness. So right here, I'm just going to Raven's Crime. Pitch the Swamp. And then we'll retrace it with the Field Ruin. Get him empty-handed. So yeah, get him empty-handed. So hopefully we can drag this game out. Retrace is such a dumb mechanic. I think that one was a mistake. That's literally just like, there's certain mechanics, like things like discard and land destruction, that are great if they happen once. But the fact that I can just, I drew a land. I don't want to play the land. I'll make you discard a card. Snapcaster Mage. Okay, well, we got another Funeral Charm that we can draw into to deal with that. Yeah. Ravnica had some really, really dumb mechanics. I mean, so you got Retrace, Forecast, Dredge. I mean, it was a super spicy format. It was really fun. Like I super enjoyed Ravnica. Sometimes I wish they could just bring stuff like that back. Like I wanna play like Boros Burn and Standard with Lightning Helix. Because it's Lightning Helix. This is actually fine. So I'm gonna Field of Ruin the Blood Crypt. Get a Swamp. Ooh, they're out of basics. That's nice. Cast Smallpox. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. So, bring in Ratchet Bombs. Bring in Flaying Tendrils. And it's Grixis, so Nile Spell Bombs. And we will go down Mind Rots. So cut a Waste Knot. So yeah, we'll what do I cut here? So cut the Waste Knot, the Mind Rot, trim down one Blackmail. Trim an Inquisition and one Duress. And run it like that. See how that works. Holy sideboard cards, Batman. I mean, we'll keep. We got a couple of redraws with the spell bombs, which is good. It also deals with graveyards. I mean, if it's a Grixis deck, so they're probably running Anglers. Yeah, look at all our sideboard cards. Literally every sideboard card that we brought in, except for, yeah, that's like all of them. So opponent takes duress. And we draw another swamp. So we'll run out of spell bomb. And pass the turn. Yep, passing turn. Thoughtseize, alright. Takes the Ratchet Bomb. Shrieking Affliction. And we'll pass turn. So now that we got all of our non-discard spells out of the way, hopefully we can draw some discard spells. That would be great. Like I'd really like to draw like a Wrench Mind. All right, Serum Visions. Do you know if Green White Cocoa will be at Top Cut? I might be teaching a friend of mine, man. I don't think so. I mean, it might be if Stefan's there. I don't know if he still has it put together. Because I know he had to use a lot of the stuff for Bant Nightfall. And Collected Company's not the easiest deck to pilot. I mean, it's Green White Value Town, which is, I mean, that's rough. I mean, that's a Todd Stevens deck, man. But if you could, I'm trying to think if I have stuff that I could put in Merfolk to make that a whole deck right now, because there's some stuff in my other deck from it. So run out another Spell Bomb. And we will pass turn. So is this Death Shadow? Looks like it might be Death Shadow. I don't know. I didn't see any Death Shadows in the last round, the last match. So it could be. Lightning Bolt. Yeah, it's Death Shadow. All right. Yep, there's a Serum Visions. So yeah, I mean, it could have been like a Grixis control deck that somebody just brewed up. You never know, man. All right, so we're going to cycle one of these Spell Bombs. I mean, Waste not as interesting. We need a card draw spell, though. Or a discard spell, not a land. Land is not what we need. Land is legitimately the last card that I wanted to draw. So, and hopefully we can start hitting some discard spells. Like I've cast 0 discard spells this game because the duress got Thoughtseized. Yeah, you get our Flaying Tendrils. Jeez. I just want to draw not a land. Alright, so ends up we're just gonna go ahead and cycle another Spell Bomb. Because we need to draw something here. There we go. There's something. Oh my gosh, a Field of Ruin. Man. So, we'll Raven's Crime. Let's draw a card. And we'll Raven's Crime again. And draw a card. And then we'll Raven's Crime again. And we'll draw a card. And we'll cast a Shrieking Affliction. Nice. So they're going to be taking 6 here. Alright, see, this is kind of what we were trying to set up. Like, Raven's Crime is a disgusting card. And, I mean, with Waste Not, it generates so much value. Because like that, I mean, I drew 3 cards. Which is really, really good. So now they are on a 2-turn clock. I don't know if they can beat us now. Yep. And we got there. Yeah. Because we would just cast the Raven's Crime a billion more times. And that'd be fine. So, yeah, we got the win. Alright, so really quick, everyone. Gonna take a quick 30-second break, maybe a minute. So we will be back, and then we'll go into round 5. And we're back. So we are going to go into round 5 here. And I'm not sure after this if I'm going to do anything else. I might play some goblins in Modern on stream. I don't know. Let's see. How long have I been live currently? So, yeah, I mean, it's currently only, it's 7:30. I might play, might maybe do some 2-player queues. You know, maybe, or if anyone wants to jump on and play some Modern with me. I don't know. I don't know if Colin plays on Moto, but Warthog, if you want to hop on Moto if you have it and play some, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'll beat you down with my goblins. Alright, so if we win this, I'll walk away. Don't have a deck or anything on Moto. I could borrow you a deck if you wanted to hop on and play. I mean, if you have Moto, I got a deck you can borrow. I could borrow you Margproc, Goblins, this deck. So I'm hoping to win this last round here, though. That would be pretty sweet. Walk away with, 40 play points. Not a whole lot, but it's something. Hey, there we go. We got a match. So it looks like our opponent. Oh man. I don't know if I keep this. What do you guys think? Do I keep it? I don't think I can keep this one. Yeah, we got a mulligan this one. This is a much better hand. Much, much better hand. Alright, so yeah, we will keep. We'll keep. Shrieking Affliction. It's got to go to the bottom. Because we want a third land to hit this Mind Rot. Oh, don't be Infect. Don't be Infect. The Boggles. Don't be Boggles either. Okay, maybe a Value Town? Alright, there's our land. So as much as I hate to do it, we've got to bolt the bird. Yeah, it could be Bant Cocoa. Maybe Bant Spirits. That's why, you know, the burn player in me just came out. You know, playing mono black, but I still get to bolt the bird. Still get to bolt the bird. Wow! Scoops it up and left the game. Wow. Okay then. He conceded the game and left the game. Got him. Wow. So we'll see if they come back. I'm not sure what we're playing, so we'll just try to run it the same. And we will mulligan. Okay. He came back. Looks like he may have just lost connection for a second. This hand is fine. So we will keep Field of Ruin to the bottom. It's like opponent's passing. We will Inquisition. See what we're actually playing against here. Okay, so it's definitely a company deck, but it's a company combo. So we'll take Devoted Druid here. And we'll pass. So we're going to take next turn off and try to cash in this Waste Knot. And then the turn after that, hit him with Duress and Blackmail. I mean, they didn't have a Noble on one, so that's good. So they're not having the turn 2 Knight of the Reliquary. And they don't, I mean, unless they drew something, they don't have a turn 2 play, which is fine. So we might have a Knight to deal with, which is a bit annoying, but like we can kind of play through a Knight. Like, I mean, we got 4 Smallpox. So like if we can keep them to only having Knight, that's what they have right now. So they play the Windswept piece. So they've got 2 Court of Callings, a Forest, and a Knight of the Reliquary, and 1 unknown card. So I'm assuming, so they crack, and then I'm assuming they drop Knight here, because I mean, Knight's going to be a 4/4 for 3. Knight of the Reliquary is such a good card. Yep, here comes the Knight. Yep, there's the Knight. Opponent's passing. Ooh, Wrench Mind. So we will, so this is non-creature, non-land, we draw a card. We will Duress our opponent. Ooh, it's Bant Nightfall. Okay. So we will take Retreat from Coral Helm. We get to draw a card. And then we will play Wrench Mind. So they played the knight. So we'll always yield. Okay, yeah, see, that's what we were hoping for. Hoping to hit a smallpox so we can play through this knight. So it looks like they pitched both chords. So it looks like all they have in hand is a Misty Rainforest. So we're gonna take a hit for 5 here. Vizier, okay. So they're empty-handed. So now would be an opportune time to draw a Funeral Charm. To hit the Vizier. Because if we hit a Funeral Charm, we can hit the Vizier, then force them to sacrifice the knight. Actually save up a little and build Blue-Red Pyromancer. I mean, yeah, Blue-Red Pyromancers, it's fun. I mean, it's basically Blue-Red Delver with Pyromancers in it. Which is, I mean, Delver's a fun deck. But I mean, at 250 ticks is awesome. But I mean, like, I don't know, that's a bit much for me. I mean, I have a decent job, but I still like to play budget Magic, which is why I'm playing this. I think this whole thing, let me pull it up on MTG Goldfish here. And if you guys want to view this deck list, while I'm looking it up on Goldfish, I will be making it public because it was set to private till I decided to stream the deck. So this deck is 61 ticks on Moto currently. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of budget Magic. So opponent's gonna pass and not get in with Knight. So we drew a second Smallpox, which is actually pretty okay. So main phase, we will run out of Smallpox. So we're going to keep our opponent empty-handed and make them sack both their creatures. So we'll discard our Field of Ruin. We'll sacrifice our Tap Swamp. And then we will Smallpox again. So yeah, that's the upside to budget Magic. Like I said, 61 ticks, man. That's the way I play. Playing the budget Magics. We'll discard a Blackmail. And sacrifice a Swamp. Yes, I have the most expensive mono red deck in paper. All right, it's fairly expensive on Moto too, but like, I mean, yeah, you kind of got me there. Like, I probably play more in paper than I do on Moto. I mean, not anymore. Like, I've started playing a lot more on Moto. Obviously doing streams and stuff. So, all right, so now I think we want a Shrieking Affliction or a Rack. That's an Urborg. It's not the card we want. Granted, I don't know what's your abs list go for. Yours, you psychopath with all your foils, like $3 grand. I mean, Free Win Red's not a slouch, man. Opponent passing. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and straight away Field of Ruin the blue source. Mine is like about 3, so more like 4, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, you are a madman with like your mostly foiled out Abzan deck. I still don't think you should have sold out of Jund. You did it like what, right before the bannings? Like you sold the land base for Jund. Okay, so opponent's just getting land flooded. We're getting discard flooded. We really just need Rack or Shrieking Affliction, which would help close this game out super quick. Yeah. Reminding you about selling out of Jund right before the unbanning of Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah, feels bad. I've done that stuff before though too, man. I mean, you could still kind of get. I mean, some of the lands aren't. I mean, Jund's like the only deck right now where lands aren't the most expensive part of the deck anymore. Hey, Serenity, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. I didn't even hear it go off. I saw it in my little replay here. Okay, that's a devoted druid. So I just hope my opponent never top decks Vizier of Remedies, I guess is the plan. Ah, man. Just drawing land, or hopefully we draw another Smallpox. Like, if they draw Vizier or Court of Calling, then we lose. I mean, because they have Infinite Man. They don't have anything to do with it. So I guess I need, like, Mayor of Everbrook, so they can just cycle through and find their, like the one of Walking Ballista. Yeah, I'm going to be building... Warthog 177. Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it a lot, guys. So yeah, you're going to be rebuilding Jund. Yeah, Jund's solid, my man. It's a good deck. Waste Knot. So we will cast a Waste Knot. And Inquisition, you see what's going on over there? If they have Cord, I'm going to be very, very sad. Okay, they have Collected Company. So do that, and then they fire off the Collected Company. Yep. Hopefully they do not hit anything. Alright, so what are their hits for Collected Company? E-Witness. Alright, what are they targeting with Eternal Witness? Collected Company. But of course. Good lord, that's a 10-10 Knight of the Reliquary. Ugh. Man. Brutal. Yep. Collected Companies again. I swear, if they hit another Knight of the Reliquary, I am going to be... Oh, yeah. That's game. They got the combo. Alright, so in this match, I want the Ratchet Bombs. I want the Extirpates. And, oh man, this is the type of match where I really wish I had Grafdigger's Cage in the sideboard. Take out Mind Rots. So Ratchet Bomb, Extirpate, cut Mind Rots. Yeah. Pithing Needles for sure coming in for the Viziers and the Druids, because that combo is dumb. Smallpox is like my only creature removal, so I think I trimmed down So let's sort here by mana cost. Trim down a Waste Not. Trim down a Wrench Mind. Funeral Charm's also pretty good in this match. So we'll trim an Inquisition. And what else do I trim? Maybe one Blackmail. And we'll run it that way. Yes, I will play first. I have one land, but this is actually a really solid hand. If I can hit another black source, I'll keep. So no sideboard cards. I'd really like to hit a Pithing Needle. So we will just fire off this Duress. We'll take the retreat from Coral Helm. And then next turn we fire off the Inquisition and hit one of hit the Druid or the Vizier. We'd really like a second land, preferably a swamp or an Urborg would be the best, not a Field of Ruin, which I always seem to draw when I need a second black source, because I am the unluckiest man alive. Ooh, Pithing Needle, even better. Pithing Needle. So we will Pithing Needle the Votad Druid. So, yeah, good old Crack the Misty in response to the Pithing Needle. Good call there. Devoted Druid, faux show. And then we'll pass turn. So now I really just want another land so I can get down Rack and maybe cast Raven's Crime or an Inquisition in the same turn. That's where I'd really like to be. So, yep, runs out Devoted Druid. So they can still use this for mana, which is fine, but the fact that they're not going to be comboing with it is the important part. So here, we will hit Vizier, and then we'll pass turn. So I think in this match we might actually be pretty good now. We will always yield to the Rack. So, I mean, I guess they could beat us down with Wolf Runs, I guess, is an option that they could do. Come on, send the message. Swing the Druid. Send the message. Oh, they're no fun. They are no fun using this for mana. So yeah, we will actually run out Waste Not. And then hopefully next turn we'll be resolving Wrench Mind and getting some value out of our Waste Not to where we want to be. So I'd like to draw another Pithing Needle for the Kessig Wolf Run there. That would be best, because then we shut down that line. Or just a Ratchet Bomb would be great. So I really would like to, for this deck, if I had Ensnaring Bridges in the sideboard. Like, I think Ensnaring Bridge would be really good. I mean, the only downside is like my zombies wouldn't be able to attack unless I was holding cards. Which, I mean, I could do. I could draw cards, hold 3, swing with my zombies, and then use a spell. Which would be perfectly fine. Gonna get in with the Druid. Nope. Alright. Opponent's passing. So we will Wrench Mind here. See what kind of value we get out of our Waste Not. See if they're going to Collected Company, maybe. Ooh, that's really nice, actually. So we get 4 mana. We will play a second Waste Not. Shrieking Affliction. That's... Talk about Value Town right there. That was beautiful. So they're going to fire off a Collected Company. Or Court of Calling, X2. So what are they going to tutor up? Tutor up, Kasali Pride Mage, that's fine. So they can hit any one of our enchantments. Probably going to hit the Pithing Needle, which is brutal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's game right there. Yeah, I needed to be able to get that out of hand. So they're going to get that. They're going to crack our... But, like, what do they have to do with it right now? I mean, Kessig Wolf Run pump everything, I guess? Sure. So are they just going to go on that plan, make everything massive? So now we've seen kind of how this deck is supposed to work. Yep, always yield, because... Yep, just in case anybody in here hasn't seen how this works. So they have Vizier Remedies, which stops -1/-1 counters from being put on creatures. And Devoted Druid, that gets a -1/-1 counter. And then you untap it, and it taps for a green mana. So they're going to make roughly 1,000,000 mana Kessig Wolf Run to pump their team. They're going to swing. So they got to do it, yeah. So that's how this works. And we'll scoop it up. Yep, that's how it works. So, finished with 20 play points. Got 1 win. Not great. Not great at all. But it was fun. So, I could play some Goblins in Modern. I don't know if anybody want to see that. Or I can do some 2-player queues with Standard. And I could play like some Grixis Amulet. Though I actually think I might wait for later to do some stuff. Might actually just make a YouTube video later tonight of me playing some Goblins. Or maybe some Pauper Infect. Well, that's going to be the end of the stream for tonight, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed it. I will be probably streaming later this week. Probably on Saturday. I will post on Facebook and Twitter. As well as here on Twitch. If you're not already following me on Twitter, it is at 5colorfeehan. You just go ahead and follow me there. I will let you know when I'm streaming, along with some other tweets as well. And Well, you have a good night, Colin. I'll see everyone later. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.